Welcome to Coaching with Dr. Cherie, live on Facebook. Welcome again to have you join us today for a session with my colleague and friend JB, who is going to do a session with us to be able to show you what a session looks like and how you can help both yourself and those who are close to you, family, friends, and colleagues, be able to resolve little mosquitoes in their life, things that bother them or irritate them, and that they really want to move towards solution and not keep in the problem zone. So I'm going to turn now to JB, and I'll be back with you very shortly. Hi, JB.
Hi, Dr. Cherie.
So I want to tell them a little bit about your background. He lives in Bangkok, and he's been here for 6 years, and he works for an international Thai-based company. He has lived in Southeast Asia for 16 years, and he's married, and he has 2 children. And I don't exactly know what his issue is today, but it's really nice to have a session with him because he's a very nice person. So, what is the focus of our topic today?
It's about Thai language.
Okay, and what is it about the Thai language?
I'd like to be, I've been living in Thailand for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
And when I arrived here, I started taking Thai lessons, which I eventually dropped because I had to travel quite a lot. And I thought I reached a level which enabled me to talk with people in a restaurant, in a taxi, for example. But that's the level I've stayed at. And I'd like to go beyond that and eventually become fluent in Thai.
Okay.
And it hasn't happened. And the more years go by, and the more I think it's going to be difficult because of the motivation.
There is a mirror here, I will admit that. And I have studied Thai language as well. And I want to become more fluent as much as possible. I don't know if I truly believe for me it's possible, but since you speak fluent Cambodian, or is
Yes.
it Khmer or what's it?
Khmer.
Khmer. I think it would be easier for you to speak Thai. Do you agree with me?
Somehow, for the writing.
Yeah.
Not so much for the speaking. Or for the speaking, it's the same grammar. So it's really pretty much about vocabulary and tones, because there are no tones in Khmer language.
Okay. All right. Great. So maybe this is something for you, that there's something that you have wanted to learn, some way you wanted to grow. And what you've done is you've said to yourself that you don't need that, or it's not important, or you've deferred it to another time. Just pay attention to what happens here today, because right now we have a bit of a gap. And the gap is that JB wants this, but he's not allowing himself to have it. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So what have you thought about doing to be able to become fluent in Thai?
Well, I thought about taking lessons, but I'm not so happy about the way these lessons go.
Mm-hmm. Because?
Because they're very, they follow a format which I'm not so happy about. Maybe focusing a little too much on writing. I think writing and reading is important to learn a language, to learn to speak a language, but it has become too focused on the writing, and I wanted more communication. And the second thing is, when I learn a language, I like to have the pressure from the teacher, in a bit like in school, basically,
Yeah.
where you have exams and you have these milestones that allow to to sort of test the level and validate the level. Yeah.
Okay.
And those lessons I had, there was no validation. We'd go from one lesson to another, and that's it. Next week, it's another lesson, et cetera, without validating what has been learned before and remembered.
Okay. So is it mostly about conversation then, besides the reading and writing?
I still have the reading and writing in mind, but I want to go a little faster now into conversation. And then once I'm more comfortable in conversation, go into reading and writing. I have enough of reading and writing knowledge to understand, to get the pronunciation, because I think that's where it's important, to correct and fine-tune the pronunciation of words.
Okay.
But now I want to go full speed on the conversation.
So when you say full speed, what does that look like?
Well, the result, I know what the result looks like. How to get there, I don't really know.
Tell me the result.
Result is me being able to have any type of conversations with my friends, with my colleagues, potentially meetings at the office, with a good level of comfort, understanding, and being able to reply, participate into the conversation.
By when?
I would normally give myself a maximum of a year.
Okay.
Which I think is very feasible because I already have the basics.
Yeah.
And I was fluent in Khmer in about 6 months' time, but that was under different circumstances where I had more time to learn.
Yeah. So you said normally give myself a year. And
Yeah.
Is that what you would give yourself now?
Yes.
Okay. So 1 year from what date?
From tomorrow.
From tomorrow. Okay, great. So what would you be willing to do to make it happen?
I think I need to make some commitments to myself and stick to it.
What are they?
My biggest issue at the moment is learning more vocabulary, and so I probably need to address that some way, starting by having a list of words that I want to translate in Thai.
Okay.
Which are words that I was thinking of in conversations when I was speaking in Thai, but couldn't get them out because I didn't know them.
Have you taken an inventory of those words?
No, I haven't. So that's what I mean, taking an inventory of these.
So inventory of vocabulary words.
Yeah.
When do you want to do that?
I think it's an ongoing process, so I should.
You're starting tomorrow.
Yes, I should start tomorrow. And
okay. And tomorrow, what time?
Well, actually, tomorrow is a public holiday in Thailand, so I probably won't be meeting a lot of people because I think I'm going to rest. But I've got some plans in the afternoon, so probably tomorrow afternoon, yeah.
What time?
Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. The inventory itself, I will do it tomorrow evening when I'm back home.
What time
and
is
think
that?
about the day I have, 6 p.m.
6 p.m. until when?
Oh, that's just, I'd say, a 15 minutes process.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's
that's great.
It's a process I want to have because I won't be able to think for an hour of all the words I want. I prefer to do it stage by stage and maybe do that within a few days on a regular basis.
Great. So that's 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And it seems like there may be different venues for those different types of words. Is that what you're talking about, categories?
Categories, I mean more in terms of themes,
like
conversation themes. So you would have vocabulary that are, let's say, vegetables and fruits. Another category which could be more business type of vocabulary, or that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue I have is I can easily do that inventory every 15 minutes every day. The thing is, I need to learn them, to practice them, and to remember them.
And how long is that going to take you per day?
Well, it depends on how many words I have every day. I haven't thought of that.
What's a confrontable number of words for you to comfortably learn every day in a realistic way?
Because I want to be ambitious, but I don't want to be too ambitious and drop it off after 2 days.
Right.
So
I'm assuming 1 word a day is too little, and 100 is too many.
I had 10 in mind, which is not a lot.
Does that sound reasonable to you?
What I might do is start with 10 and see how it goes. And if it's too slow, I can gradually increase.
Great. So if I could repeat back to you what you said you want to start taking inventory for about 15 minutes at 6 p.m. tomorrow of the words that you want to start integrating into your vocabulary, starting with the English words. Is that right?
Yes.
And then translating those into Thai so that you know what the English word is and the Thai word is. And then you want to be learning 10 words per day to absorb into your new vocabulary.
Yeah, which could be those words I'm putting in my inventory.
Yeah. And What amount of time do you want to dedicate to those 10 words?
So I'll have to read them, repeat them, use them in sentences, because I want to be able to practice also, which obviously is an important way to remember. Because with no practice, I won't remember the words. So the time to read them and practice myself could be another 15 minutes.
Okay, so it's 30 minutes a day then.
And yes, I'd say between the total process, between inventory and repeating the words, could take between 20 to 30 minutes a day.
Great. How does that sound when you say it?
Feasible.
Are we talking 5 days or 7 days a week?
I might allow myself a little break, which is also during which I will practice those words, hopefully.
Okay.
And
So is it a 5 day a week?
Yeah, 5 days a week.
5 days a week. Okay.
And I'll leave myself the possibility of a little bonus if I feel like it.
Okay, so I think this sounds really interesting. If you look here, the commitments you're making to yourself, vocabulary inventory, starting on Monday, tomorrow, 6 p.m., 15 minutes per day. Then learn those 10 words per day of that 15 minutes per day. So it's like a 30-minute max, 5 days per week. Read, repeat, translate, use in sentences.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is that good?
It is. It's a good start.
What can I do to support you in this?
It could be, well, check on me, let's say within a month and see if I've actually...
A month from now.
A month from now, yeah.
Okay.
See if because I expect I will certainly commit to that for the first week I'm supposed to be committing that. I will commit to that for long term, but let's see how I do within a month.
Okay, so I just want to tell you a couple of things about me, just so you know. I took a memory course recently because I was finding that this process of read, repeat, translate, use in sentences wasn't actually working too well for me, the memorization process. And so I wanted to get something that was a little more fun and interesting. So I took this memory course, and it's about connection, mnemonics, association, outrageous, silly, playful, crazy. And it's actually been working fairly well. And I've been applying it to Thai language as well. And I also have a tutor who comes usually once a week for an hour to my condo and works with me on words and phrases and et cetera, learning Thai, so that I keep it up because I don't want to just drop it. And I also have a new app that I have on my phone that's a game, a vocabulary game.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm willing to share that with you as well.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds
because
good.
It's something
going to be
that
a fun element.
When I sit at the gym on the bike, I can pull up my app with the vocabulary words. First, it takes you through the vocabulary. You read it, you write it, you don't write it, but you fill in the letters, the missing letters. You speak it, you hear it, and then it tests you on whether you've retained it or not. And so there are categories like weather and then technology and just various different things. It's fun. And then it gives you a score after you're done to see how you did.
Okay.
So I'll share that with you if you want to know that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, cool. And I'm suspecting that you have a dictionary on your phone.
I have.
Yeah, great. Okay, perfect. I will check on you in a month, but there's a part of me that wants to check on you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And also, it'd be nice if I could have a similar agreement with myself, because that would make a game out of it. And so we could support each other, both of us doing it at the same time.
When you asked me earlier how you could support me more, I had this in mind. I said some kind of similar. I didn't want to put pressure on you.
No, it's good.
But I think it's good. Learning as a group with
having a buddy
instead of being alone in that homework is actually fun.
Actually, great, because one of the things that I like is I found a way to remember this word. I will tell you a very funny story that happened just yesterday. The maids cleaned our condo the other day, and then she came in the gym and she said, in Thai, I forgot da 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 da. But it was morning, my brain was not fully engaged, and I couldn't remember what the word learn was.
Forget.
So I was saying, learn, learn. Gosh, I've forgotten what learn is. Well, learn, learn,
Yes.
you don't know this, but learn means to forget. So here I was forgetting the word learn, and I couldn't remember what it was until this woman walked in the gym who is Thai and speaks English, and she said, "Oh, learn means forget." I said, "I forgot learn." So I will never forget that now, because that's the word that was the missing piece. So finding fun ways to remember words, I think, is a way that we could actually partner. Like, I found a great way to remember this word. Did you know this word? And maybe even comparing our vocabulary.
So I'd like to have this as part of my homework also. Looking for fun ways to remember words.
I love it. Super. Did you get what you wanted in our session?
Absolutely.
Okay, I did too. I got a bonus because I keep trying to talk to Michael about, learning Thai with me and coming to my lessons and coming and being around, and he's not really willing anymore. He used to in the beginning, but now he's just given up on himself and say, "Oh, it's too hard, I'll never learn it." And I don't want us to come to that. I really want to stick with it and keep going. So I'm really glad to have you as my partner, my buddy. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you, Dr.
It's
Cherie.
cool. It's a bonus. So here's the lesson. If you want something and you want it badly enough, see if there's a buddy who's willing to partner with you to be able to learn together, whether it's ballroom dancing, or whether it's a new instrument, or whether it's a language, or whether it's a sport. Whoever it is, maybe it's going to be fun for you to consider doing it as a team, as a partnership. Then you can share, you can talk about your wins, you can help each other break through some barriers, you can do it together. So this is an opportunity for you to see what's stuck in your life. What are you not doing? And what could you do to be able to move things forward so it moves off the list of a clothespin that's bothering you into something that's proving your success? Thank you so much for joining us today for Coaching on Facebook with Dr. Cherie. And we invite you to tune in next Sunday to hear again our happy hour that I do with my dear, wonderful, lovely husband, Michael. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye.